everyone. In this video, I'm going to start second part of session 2 of Unit 4, Web Applications and Security. In this video, first topic is web browser. So a web browser is a software used to view websites. So a web browser is one general purpose application software, and this general purpose application software we are using to open web pages on our computer screen, and it acts as an interface between the user and the World Wide Web. So web browser, this software acts as an interface or a medium in between user, means person who is using the computer, and World Wide Web. Now how? Actually, user is the person who is opening a web page on the computer screen by using this software web browser, and World Wide Web is the collection of web pages. So user is giving one request to the web browser for a particular web page, and as per that request, web browser is forwarding that request to the World Wide Web, and thereafter World Wide Web as a response of that request sending that web page to the web browser software. So here the actual interaction is happening in between user and World Wide Web, because user is the person who is accessing or opening a web page, and World Wide Web is the collection of web pages, and it is providing actually the web page to the user. So the communication in between the user and the World Wide Web is possible because of the software, and that software is web browser. So that's why it is an interface in between user and the World Wide Web. Now various examples of web browsers are Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, Safari, and many others are also available. After this, next one is web server. So web server is a computer that stores websites and their related files for viewing on the internet. So web server is a computer, and this computer is actually with special softwares, and the function of this computer and the special softwares available in this computer is responsible for storing websites, web pages, as well as providing web pages to the user whenever a user is asking for it, and for this internet connection is needed for the transmission of the web pages from web server to the user computer. Now after this, next one is web page. A web page is a specific collection of information provided by a website and displayed to a user in a web browser. So a web page is an electronic page, and this electronic page provides information to a user, and here this web page we are able to open on our computer by using a software, and that software is called web browser. To develop web pages, one language is needed, and that language is HTML, hypertext markup language. One can view web pages that may contain text, images, videos, and other multimedia, and navigate between them via hyperlink. So as we know that web pages are providing information to users, but to provide information to user, web pages are using multimedia, and this multimedia include text, images, videos, audios, animations, and other types are also possible. So here web pages are using all these multimedia to provide information to user, and we can easily move from one page to another, and for that we have to click on the hyperlink those we are getting on the web page. Now after this, next one is website. So a website is a collection of web pages which are grouped together and usually connected together in various ways. So a collection of web pages, those are related to a particular organization or institution, is called a website, and we can easily move from one web page to another web page of the same website or of other website also by clicking on the hyperlinks those we are getting on the web page. Now after this, next is ISP. An internet service provider is an organization which provides you with access to the internet via a dial-up using modem or direct hardwired or wireless connection. So ISP, internet service provider, is a company or organization, and this company or organization is actually providing internet connection to users, and to get internet connection various technologies are available such as dial-up or wireless connection, and few examples of internet service providers are Airtel, Jio, BSNL, etc. So internet service provider are companies only, and these companies are providing internet connection to users. Now next here is modem. So before explaining this modem, we have to understand one thing, that whenever we are getting the internet connection through telephone line, and this is happening in case of dial-up internet connection. So in case of dial-up internet connection, we are getting internet connection through telephone line, and there is mismatch of the signals because computer is actually working on digital signals processing digital signals, but the telephone line that we are getting in the dial-up internet connection is capable to carry only analog signals. So in this way, signals mismatch is there because computer is working on digital signals, but telephone line is capable to carry analog signals. So whenever we are transferring some data from our computer to some other computer over the internet, so that data is moving from our computer to the internet via this telephone line only. So at that point only, conversion of the signal is needed from digital to analog, because data is moving from our computer in the digital form and wire is able to carry only analog signal. So there one device is needed, and that device is the modem. So this modem device is converting digital signal into analog at the sender end. Now at the receiver end, as that receiver is getting the internet connection through telephone line, so that receiver computer is also getting analog signals, but computer is able to accept only digital signals. So again, at receiver end also one modem is needed, and their modem is converting analog signals into digital signal. So in this way, conversion of signal is needed whenever we are getting internet connection through telephone line from digital to analog at sender end and analog to digital at receiver end. So for this conversion, one device is needed, and their device is modem. So in the last line you can see two words are there, modulator, demodulator, and from these two words this device got the name modem. So from the modulator first two alphabets took, and from the demodulator first three alphabets took, and from these five words this device got the name modem. So modulator function is to convert digital signal into analog, or conversion of digital to analog signal is called modulator, and conversion from analog to digital signal is called demodulator. So this is the modem device that is converting digital signal into analog or analog signal into digital, and this is needed whenever we are getting internet connection through telephone line, because computer is working on digital signals and telephone line is capable to carry analog signals. Now we can connect our system or device to the internet in two different ways. One is wired and second one is wireless. So in each one various technologies are available. So in wired internet connection, various technologies those are available are: one is dial-up, second one is DSL, digital subscriber line, and third one is cable internet access. In the wireless internet connection, various technologies those are available are 4G, that is fourth generation, Wi-Fi, wireless fidelity it is, and WiMAX, worldwide interoperability for microwave access. So these are the various technologies available in the wireless internet connection. Now after this, the most important and the last topic of this video is how data transfer takes place over the internet. This means that whenever we are sending any message to someone or any file to someone, so how that file is actually transferred from our device to the receiver device over the internet. So that is explained here in 5 steps. So first step is the data is broken up into bits of same size pieces called packets. So here before this you have to understand one thing, that whatever message or data you are sending from your device to other device by using internet, so that data or message is not sent as it is. That message or data is broken into same small size pieces, and each piece is called packet there. So here I am considering one example, that one message is there of 100 KB. So that 100 KB message will not be sent from sender computer to the receiver computer as it is. That 100 KB message will be divided into same small size pieces, and here we can consider size of each piece is 10 KB. So in this way there will be 10 pieces, but this size is actually varying based on the protocol, and various protocols are available. So here as per my example, 100 KB message will not be sent as it is from the sender to the receiver computer. It will be divided into same small size pieces, and here as I'm considering size of one piece is 10 KB, so there will be 10 packets and size of each packet will be 10 KB. So this is happening in the first step, that complete message or data is not sent as it is from sender to receiver. It is divided into same small size pieces, and this same small size piece is called packet. Now after that, second step is a header is added to each packet explaining where the data has come from, where it should end up, and where it fits in with the rest of the packets. So before this, just understand one thing, that whenever we connect our device to the internet, then our device gets one unique address, and that unique logical address is called IP address, Internet Protocol address. And over the internet, for all type of communication, this IP address is only used. Two versions of IP address are there. One is IPv4, IP version 4, and second one is IPv6, IP version 6. So as we connect our device to the internet, one unique address is assigned to our device, and that is IP address. And for all type of communication, this IP address is only used. So after dividing the complete message into same size pieces called packets, here in the second step, one header is added to each packet, and this header is containing IP address of the sender computer, then IP address of receiver computer, and thereafter its sequence number also. Now sequence number, what is it? That as one message in my example is divided into 10 packets, so each packet will get one unique sequence number, and this sequence number will start from 0. So in this way, all the 10 packets will get one sequence number, and this will be unique, and it will start from 0, so it will be from 0 to 9. So in the second step, one header is added to each packet, and this header is containing source and destination computers IP addresses, and third one is sequence number of each packet. Now after assigning or adding header to each packet, all these packets are sent from sender computer to the destination computer, and that is happening here in the third step. So each packet is sent from computer to computer until it finds its destination. Each computer on the way decides where next to send the packet. All packets may not take the same route. So here, after adding header to each packet, all the packets are sent from sender computer to receiver computer. But as we know that in case of internet, billions of computers are available there, so these packets are there with many different routes. So as per the load of the traffic, these packets are following same route or different route, and thereafter these packets are reaching destination computer. So here, this is a possibility that all packets may follow or use the same route to reach the destination computer, or all packets may use different routes also to reach destination computer, and this completely depends on the traffic route. As per that, all packets are reaching destination computer. Now thereafter, fourth step, at the destination the packets are examined. If any packets are missing or damaged, a message is sent asking for them to be resent. This continues until all packets have been received intact. So as all the packets destination computer receives, thereafter destination computer checks all the packets data, that is it correct or not, or because sometimes data of the packet may get damaged or corrupt, and sometimes complete packet may also get damaged completely and it doesn't reach the destination computer. So for this, the destination computer checks all the packets, that all the packets are there in the correct state or not, their data is correct or not, as well as destination computer has received all the packets or not. And if suppose there is a mistake or fault or problem in the data of a particular packet, or suppose destination computer did not receive all the packets sent by the sender computer, so in that case destination computer asks to the sender computer to resend that packet, and in this way destination computer receives all the packets in the correct state. After receiving all the packets by the destination computer in the correct state, here the fifth step is the packets are now reassembled into their original form. So after this, as per the sequence number that is assigned to each packet in the step 2, all the packets are reassembled or combined, and thereafter destination computer user gets the original message. So this is the complete procedure, that how data transfer takes place over the internet, and this procedure actually takes fractions of second to complete. So this is the most important topic of this session, that how data transfer takes place over the internet. And briefly I am explaining once again that first of all, whatever the data is that is moving from sender computer to receiver computer, that message is not sent as it is. That message is divided into same small size pieces, and that each piece is called packet, and thereafter breaking the complete message into packets, one header is added to each packet, and this header is containing IP address of sender and receiver computer and its sequence number also, because this sequence number is very important at the destination computer to combine all the packets. Thereafter, all the packets are sent from sender computer, and these packets, as various or different routes are available, so as per the traffic of the channel, these packets are following same or different routes, and thereafter these packets are reaching destination computer. Now destination computer is checking or examining all the packets, and if a packet is not in the correct state or data of a particular packet got damaged, or if all the packets did not receive the destination computer, so destination computer asks to the center computer for a particular packet, and then center computer sends that particular packet to the destination computer, and in this way destination computer receives all the packets in the correct state, and thereafter as per the sequence number all the packets are combined or reassembled at the destination computer, and then user of the destination computer gets the message on the screen. So this is a complete procedure, and this complete procedure takes place in fraction of second. So here session 2 is ending, so I'm going to end this video, and session 3 I will start in the next video.